第24話、近藤勇最後の陣。下総流山に陣を敷いた近藤勇は、天を覆う灰色の雲を見上げていた。風が冷たく、戦の前兆を感じさせるような静寂が辺りに漂っていた。新選組の旗が風に揺れ、隊士たちの緊張した表情が、その場の重苦しさを一層引き立てていた。しかし、その静寂は突然破られた。遠くから馬蹄の音とともに、新政府軍の旗が次々と現れた。数に勝る新政府軍が四方から近藤の陣を取り囲んだのだ。敵兵の数は圧倒的で、その勢いは凄まじく、近藤の陣はまるで小舟が大海原の嵐に飲まれるかのようであった。敵が迫っているぞ、という叫び声が響き渡り、隊士たちは慌てて武器を手に取った。近藤は落ち着いた表情を保ちながらも、その目には鋭い光が宿っていた。彼は冷静に戦況を見極め、迅速に指示を出し始めた。しかし、四方から押し寄せる敵兵の波は止むことを知らず、次第に包囲網は狭まっていった。新政府軍の砲声が鳴り響き、火薬の煙が立ち込める中、近藤の陣は徐々に追い詰められていった。これは想定以上だなと、近藤は心の中でつぶやいた。彼の顔には汗がにじみ出し、緊張の色が見え隠れしていた。しかし、彼は動じることなく、最後まで戦い抜く覚悟を決めていた。その時、土方歳三が駆け寄り、近藤に言葉をかけた。近藤さん、もう無理かもしれない。近藤は静かにうなずきながら四方を見渡した。そうだな、切腹するしかねえか。彼らの背後には新政府軍の旗が次第に増え続け、包囲の輪がますます狭まっていく。近藤は深い息をつき、最後の戦いに備えた。土方は近藤の肩を強く掴んだ。近藤さん、あんただけは死なないでくれ。あんただけは生き残ってくれ。あんたが生きていれば、まだ望みはあるんだよ。誠は。近藤さん、あなたについていくっていう忠義なんだよ。さらに土方は続けた。俺たちの誠を消さないでくれ。近藤さん、情けないと思うかもしれないが、俺の言うことを聞いてくれ。名前を変えて捕虜になって、なんとかギリギリ生き延びてくれ。近藤とバレないように、偽名を使ってでもいいから。バレたら殺されるからな。俺はその間に勝海舟に会いに行く。勝海舟は、新政府軍とも顔が利く幕臣であった。勝海舟ならうまく調整してくれるはずだ。そうだな、大久保大和と名乗ってくれ。勝海舟には大久保大和という捕虜を解放してもらうよう伝えてくる。近藤という名は絶対に伏せてくれ。俺は行ってくる。土方は急いで勝海舟のもとへ向かう。近藤は捕まり、武士として情けないと思いつつも、大久保大和として捕虜になった。あの近藤勇が大久保大和ですと名乗ることになったのだ。土方はその間、全速力で馬を借り、勝海舟のもとへと急いだ。幕府のために、仲間のために、そして何よりも、近藤の命を救うために彼の心は焦燥に駆られていた。雨が降りしきる中、土方の馬は激しく地面を蹴り上げ、泥と水しぶきを上げながら進んでいった。彼の息は荒く、顔に汗と雨水が混じり合って流れていた。胸の鼓動は激しく、まるで鼓のように鳴り響いていたが、彼は一瞬たりとも手綱を緩めることはなかった。近藤さん、死なないでくれと、心の中で繰り返しつぶやきながら、彼の視線はただ、前だけを見据えていた。 道中の風景など目に入らない。彼の目にはただ勝海舟との対面だけが映っていた。風が吹き荒れ、木々が揺れ、道が険しくても土方は全力で馬を駆け続けた。馬の息遣いが荒くなり、足は疲労の色を見せていたが、土方はその痛みを意識の外に追いやった。彼の心にはただ近藤への忠義と誠が燃え盛っていた。ようやく勝海舟の屋敷が見えてきたとき、土方は最後の力を振り絞り、馬から飛び降りた。門を叩く音は響き渡り、彼の声が雨の音をかき消した。勝さんいますか？勝先生、お願いだ、話を聞いてくれ。彼の姿は濡れそぼち、息を切らしながらも、その目には揺るぎない決意が宿っていた。勝海舟に伝えるべき言葉はすでに心の中で整っていた。彼は近藤を救うための一縷の望みを胸に、懸命に足を運んだのだ。
Episode 24, Kondo Isami's Final Stand. Kondo Isami, stationed in Shimusa Nagariyama, gazed up at the gray clouds that blanketed the sky. The wind was cold, and a heavy silence, like the foreboding calm before battle, lingered in the air. The Shinsengumi flag fluttered in the breeze, and the tense expressions of the troops heightened the oppressive atmosphere. Suddenly, the silence was shattered. In the distance, the sound of galloping horses echoed as the flags of the imperial army began to appear one after another. The overwhelming numbers of the government forces surrounded Kondo's position from all sides. The enemy's numbers were vast, and their momentum was overwhelming. Kondo's camp was like a small boat about to be swallowed by a stormy sea. "The enemy's approaching!" a shout rang out, and the Shinsengumi members scrambled to grab their weapons. Kondo, though maintaining a calm expression, had a sharp gleam in his eyes. He quickly assessed the situation with a keen eye and began issuing orders decisively. However, the relentless waves of enemy soldiers showed no signs of stopping, and the encirclement gradually tightened. Cannons from the government forces boomed, and gunpowder smoke filled the air, as Kondo's position became increasingly perilous. "This is worse than expected," Kondo muttered to himself. Sweat began to bead on his forehead, betraying the tension he felt, yet he remained unshaken, resolved to fight to the bitter end. At that moment, Hijikata Toshizo rushed over and spoke urgently to Kondo. "Kondo-san, this might be the end." Kondo nodded quietly as he surveyed the encroaching forces. "Yeah, it seems seppuku may be our only choice." Behind them, the flags of the imperial army multiplied, and the circle of enemy soldiers grew ever tighter. Kondo took a deep breath, preparing himself for the final battle. Hijikata grabbed Kondo's shoulder firmly. "Kondo-san, you mustn't die. You, of all people, have to survive. As long as you live, there's still hope. Our loyalty, our Makoto, is to you, Kondo-san." Hijikata continued, his voice filled with urgency. "Don't let our Makoto die. Kondo-san, you might think this is cowardly, but please, listen to me. Change your name and let yourself be taken prisoner. Survive, no matter what. Even if you have to use an alias, do it. If they find out who you really are, they'll kill you. While you do that, I'll go and meet Katsukaishu." Katsukaishu was a statesman who had connections with both the new government and the former shogunate. "If anyone can negotiate this, it's Katsukaishu. You should call yourself Okubo Yamato. I'll tell Katsu to get this prisoner, Okubo Yamato, released. Make sure no one knows you're Kondo. I'm going now." With that, Hijikata sped off to see Katsukaishu. Kondo was captured, feeling a deep sense of shame as a warrior, but he allowed himself to be taken prisoner under the name Okubo Yamato. The legendary Kondo Isami now found himself introducing himself as Okubo Yamato. Meanwhile, Hijikata galloped at full speed toward Katsukaishu's residence, His heart was filled with desperation, not only for the shogunate and their comrades, but most importantly, to save Kondo's life. His mind was racing, driven by a powerful sense of duty. Rain poured down as Hijikata's horse kicked up mud and water, galloping fiercely toward its destination. His breath was labored, and a mixture of sweat and rain streamed down his face. His heart pounded violently, like the beat of a drum, but he never loosened the reins for even a moment. "Please, Kondo-san, don't die," he muttered over and over in his mind, his eyes fixed straight ahead. He paid no attention to the scenery along the way. In his mind, only one goal remained, his meeting with Katsukai-shu. The wind howled, and the trees swayed violently as Hijikata rode on, undeterred by the rough terrain. His horse was beginning to show signs of fatigue, its breath growing heavier, but Hijikata forced himself to ignore the pain. His heart blazed with loyalty and the spirit of Makoto for Kondo. When Katsukai-shu's residence finally came into view, Hijikata summoned his last reserves of strength and leaped from his horse. His fists pounded on the gate, the sound echoing through the air. His voice pierced through the noise of the rain. "Is Katsu here? Katsu-sensei, please, I beg you, hear me out." Soaked to the skin and gasping for breath, Hijikata's eyes burned with unwavering resolve. The words he needed to convey to Katsu were already prepared in his heart. He pressed forward, clutching the faint hope of saving Kondo's life.